And now the main event of the night, Jan Blachowicz, the former champ, taking on Aleksandar Rakic. Jan Blachowicz, again, coming in as an underdog at plus 150. Aleksandar Rakic, minus 175. Again, you have the former champ taking on the rising contender in Rakic, and this makes for a great fight. So Jan Blachowicz, I mean, we know the story, 2-4 in the UFC, and then all of a sudden just flips a switch and just starts winning a whole bunch of fights, which includes a 5-fight win streak where he beat Dominic Reyes for the vacant belt and defends against Israel Adesanya. And then after that, he does lose the belt to Glover Teixeira, and now that's where we stand at this point. But Jan Blachowicz, I mean, the Polish power is there. The counter striking looks very good against Dom Reyes. We saw how vicious his body kicks were. This guy blitzes forward, multiple shot combinations. He's very dangerous. He's patient. He's calculated. And then even against Israel Adesanya, we saw the wrestling. He's a black belt BJJ, so the grappling was there. He is just this well-rounded mixed martial artist, which really makes him tough for anyone. And then you have Aleksandar Rakic, who's 6-1 in the UFC himself. He's nearly perfect. The only loss is to Volkan Ozdemir, which was a split decision loss. And that was a fight you definitely could have scored for him. So he could easily be 7-0 in the UFC right now. But he bounces back, gets a win over Anthony Smith, gets a win over Thiago Santos. You could say that was a boring fight. I call that a smart fight. His striking, his defense looks very solid. He's explosive. We saw it against Anthony Smith. The leg kicks came out. And he hurt Anthony Smith, legitimately hurt him for the remainder of the 3 rounds just by throwing some of those calf kicks. And he was able to rack up 12 minutes of control time. The top control was insane there. And then, we've even seen that before in one of his fights. I think it was Justin Ledet. He also scored 12 minutes of control time in that fight. So, yes, he is explosive on the feet. We've seen the round 1 knockouts from him, but he's also a capable wrestler who can rack up the control time. And historically, when you go back and look at Jan Blachowicz, a lot of his losses are to wrestling heavy attacks. Alexander Gustafsson, he had 4 takedowns with 10 minutes of control. Patrick Cummins had 3 takedowns, 7 minutes of control. Corey Anderson, I think, had 3 or 4 takedowns, more than 7 minutes of control. So there is a clear path to victory. Of course, the now champ Glover Teixeira went in there with his game plan to wrestle, to grapple. He submitted Jan Blachowicz. So I think that could be definitely a clear path to victory for Aleksandar Rakic. And when you pair that with his size, with his strength, with his explosiveness standing, I think he's just going to be the better fighter. I think he's going to wear Jan Blachowicz down with the wrestling. And I could even see this being more of like a round 4, round 5 type of finish. But probably more likely we're going to see the full 5 rounds, probably more of a boring fight, kind of like the Magomed Ankalaev versus Thiago Santos fight. I don't think Rakic is going to force anything here. He knows the position he is in. If he wins this fight, he's getting the title shot. So let's go Aleksandar Rakic by unanimous decision.